Dr. Mike Jones is here, Executive Director of Migration Watch UK. Mike, a very good morning to you.
Good morning, Mike.
Thanks very much for joining us. Shocking revelations yesterday in the Daily Mail, picked up on by Rishi Sunak and by Suella Braverman. It now looks as though the second instalment is actually worse than the first, because we've got them now saying today, advising people on how we can find you a wife so that you can stay in this country no matter what the government and the Home Office want to do.
Yeah, it's one of the most shocking cases I've read about in recent years. Essentially, you have, shysters, rogue solicitors perverting the course of justice and pocketing huge sums of cash in the process by concocting bogus asylum claims. And, it's diabolical. But as you said, previously, Mike, the writing has been on the wall for a while. In 2020, we had the Malik and Malik case. This solicitor's firm filed a number of bogus asylum claims. They were fined, but they still operate as a law firm. James Hanratty, a former immigration judge, and he's very sympathetic to the plight of asylum seekers. But even Hanratty said, he came across appellants who had clearly been coached by solicitors to, lie about their nationality, their age, sexual orientation.
Yeah.
This is big business. It's a racket, and clearly it's more widespread than what we previously thought.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't that surprised when I saw the story. I was shocked at the sort of nature of what they were, how far they were going to break the law. But let's go have a look. I think we now have the clip. This is Rashid Khan, a solicitor from Rashid and Rashid, who basically is telling an undercover reporter from the Daily Mail about how they should make up a problem that he may face in his home country of India.
Is the case we're going to put for him the human right application on the basis of the family in this country plus asylum. Because he entered illegally in this country. So there's a big story आई ना तेरे ज़हन च
कितना स्टोरी
तो ये अंदर खालिस्तानी है कि
नहीं खालिस्तानी तो नहीं
प्रॉब्लम ये आते वो थे पॉलिटिकल के
नहीं कोई पॉलिटिकल नहीं कोई भी अपन बस काम करवाया है बाहर
नहीं ये तो है क्या उन्होंने तेनों.
So that's the idea. If you haven't got a good story, make one up. If you're not able to allege that you can come here legally, just concoct a reason why you can't be sent home. And in a way, as much as these people are despicable for ripping the country off, I'm also slightly sort of surprised, shall we say, that the Home Office is so gullible. Because it seems to me that all you have to say to them is, well, I'm gay and I can't go home because I'll get killed. And they go, oh, OK, then here's a house in Slough for you.
Well, I agree. And one of the solicitors was recorded as describing Suella Braverman as dumb.
Yeah.
But, sort of paradoxically, they claimed that their firm had a good reputation with the Home Office. So there's, sort of Janus-faced nature to this. But in that clip that you just showed, they're referring to a Sikh separatist movement, the Khalistani movement. And the undercover reporter claimed to be a farmer from Punjab region. And it wasn't just one solicitor. Several of these solicitors gave the same false narrative. They said, you've got to be a victim of political oppression. You support the Sikh separatist movement. You've been oppressed by the Indian authorities, and this is how we're going to get you asylum. And what that suggests to me is that these lawyers are skilled in concocting these false claims, and they know how to fine-tune the narrative to get an economic migrant an asylum status.
Right. And the interesting thing as well here is that if they are charging all of this money, who's paying for that? Where are they getting the fees from? Because presumably some of these migrants won't always be in a position to pay £10,000 to get into the country illegally. So who's paying it?
I mean, historically, a lot of these cases have been paid for by legal aid.
Right.
So obviously it's the British taxpayer.
So you come to this country illegally, you find that you can't stay because your story isn't good enough. You go to a dodgy lawyer, get legal aid, and the lawyer gets rich and you get to stay.
Yeah, it's perverse incentives. And as you say, you know,
Unbelievable.
Well, yeah, I mean, these rogue lawyers living the life of Riley, they have multi-million-pound properties, they have property portfolios, they drive flash cars, they send their kids to elite private schools, and yet they're profiting off, you know, sort of unscrupulous and bogus claims. It's a complete racket.
Yeah, it really is. And I mean, we're told that some of the lawyers in these undercover videos have since been fired. But I mean, I don't understand whether or not they've been disbarred. There's no information on that, so there's nothing to stop them really setting up shop somewhere else, is there?
Well, we don't have enough information at the moment, but what I will say, Mike, is that the laws are too lax at the moment. I mean, an immigrant can actually go to prison for making a false asylum claim, for giving false information to the authorities. A rogue solicitor can be struck off, but they can't actually face criminal prosecution.
Right.
And I think that's got to change.
Well, he has. And if I were the Home Office, I'd be going back through these law firms' cases to see precisely who they represented and to see whether those people actually should be revisited, perhaps, and re-examined and reinvestigated.
Well, I mean, the Daily Mail has actually written a follow-up article to this, and one of the rogue lawyers, I believe he's called Mr. VP Lingjoffe.
Oh, yes.
I mean, he represented many clients previously, and judges described the cases as, you know, strange.
I mean, I've got a note here from somebody on Twitter who says Rashid and Rashid have recently opened new offices right by South Wimbledon Station. They have 4 commercial units on the high street and they openly advertise asylum claims in their windows. They should lose their licence. They are fleecing us taxpayers. I mean, it shouldn't be possible to set up a law firm and exist purely and simply on legal aid money and make yourself rich on it.
Oh, I absolutely agree. I mean, you know, it's perverting the course of justice. It's a racket. It imposes a cost on the British taxpayer, and it just undermines the integrity of the asylum system.
And it's just one part of a system that just is so hopelessly broken that I don't know whether they can even fix it. Because what we know is there are 170,000 cases, a backlog in this country of people who have come here who are claiming asylum. Now, it may well be that all of them should be rejected. But even if they are rejected, there's no possible way at the moment for them to be sent anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, there's a legalistic culture of litigation in the UK. I mean, much of this emerged from the passing of the Human Rights Act in 1998, which enshrined the European Convention of Human Rights into British law. Obviously, we've been members of the Council of Europe before that, and therefore subject to the European Court of Human Rights. But you know, chickens come home to roost, and there's a legal architecture that allows rogue lawyers to flourish and to pervert the course of justice.
Yeah.
The Tory party have been in power for a very long time. They've had opportunity after opportunity to change this, but they haven't gone down that avenue.
Well, if anything, it's got worse. The asylum system used to work a lot better before this latest kind of 13 years of Tory rule. They were deporting far more people under the Tony Blair government than they are now.
Well, yeah, I mean, immigration officers used to have a lot of power prior to the sort of late 1990s. They were entrusted with making these decisions. And, you know, these are very serious people, well-trained. They could detect a bogus case through interviews, but now we're outsourcing this system to lawyers who have a vested interest in, you know, allowing these people to stay here regardless of the, you know, veracity of their case.
Yeah, well, there's money in it, isn't there? Dr. Mike Jones, good to talk to you. Thank you very much indeed. He's the Executive Director of Migration Watch UK.